Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 7 of the 2023 Beer Advent Calendar series here on MKE Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
And we've got Mr. Lau from Eau Claire rolling through the VolumeOne Advent Calendar this year, and Tyler is officially back. His liver has had a rest, and he will be joining us to roll through the Three Cellars Advent Calendar tonight. So, without further ado, let's get this thing kicked off. Three Cellars Advent Calendar, day 7. It's been 6 really good beers so far. I've still got brown bags. It's still pretty wet on the bottom. I might be doing this the rest of the time just to make sure that I don't have a problem. But let's crack this thing. Well, let's crack this bag and see what we got. So it's another can. And we've got an apricot blonde ale. I like the choice of using the elements.
Fun.
That's kind of neat. Okay, what brewery is the...
Delta Beer Lab is the brewery. It's in Madison.
Delta Beer Lab?
I've had a couple things from them. I've liked everything I've had from them. I know it's been pretty limited. Yeah, this is their standard can art, though. This is what they always do as like a periodic table type thing.
That's really cool.
I've never had Delta, so curious.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, anything else cool on the can?
I just want to point out the last time I did an episode with you guys, there was also apricot in that beer, and that was only a couple days ago. So we're keeping that theme rolling here.
We clearly are.
Well, is there anything cool on the bottom?
No, not this time.
So this is fun. This is the second blonde ale in the calendar series this year because Mr. Lau had one.
That's by far the best one so far out of my pack, I believe.
Pouring out a nice dark golden color. It looks pretty clean. It's really cleaning up nice in the bottom of the glass. Very bubbly head.
Yeah, it's really carbonated.
It's really carbonated. It's a nice dark golden color, though. It looks really pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of head retention, and pillowy at the top. So, shall we bring this to the nose? Ooh. It smells apricot-y.
Imagine that.
It has a very nice, sweet apricot note on the nose. A little bit hoppy, but I think the apricot characters are really what's shining.
Yeah, it's like a nice, clean, sweet, fruity nose. Nice and clean.
Yeah, I mean, it smells exactly how it should. I mean, blonde ales are going to be a very powerful style in itself. It leads itself a lot to put different variants and different adjuncts on. So the apricot should really shine through in this.
Let's check it out. Cheers, gentlemen. To day 7.
Cheers.
Ooh. That's really tasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no frills beer. I mean, it's a blonde ale, like we said. Blonde ales, I haven't had too many of them, but they're nothing really to write home about as far as like the style goes. The apricot comes through nicely. What I'm really liking is it's not overly sweet. I was a little worried it was going to be very sweet and kind of like a fruit and everything. But you get the nice taste of the apricot, little bit of tartness, but no like real sweetness to kind of overpower everything. It's just a nice smooth beer, pretty drinkable.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just really sweet up front. I shouldn't say really sweet. It's nice. It's a good level of sweet up front. It's got a little bit of that traditional blonde ale characteristic to it. You've got a little bit of hoppiness, a little bit of maltiness up front. And it stays pretty consistent all the way through. What lingers is kind of that sweet apricot, a little bit of a caramely note out the back end is what I kind of get that lingers. But it's very, very subtle. It's a good tasting beer. I actually really enjoy this. I don't reach for a blonde ale often. But having one intermixed in all of these other styles that we've had too, this is actually a really nice breath of fresh air type beer for me. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it first of all is like very, very light on the tongue. You know, it's medium, probably medium low body. I think I was with Ross. I was worried that it was going to be overly sweet to try to like kind of sell you on the whole apricot fruit vibe, but it's the opposite. It's actually very dry. Got a little tiny bit of sweetness from the malt, but it dries out really fast because of the hops that are there, but also just it's fully fermented out. Like there's no residual fruit sugar in there really at all. So it kind of gives you the like the essence of an apricot without it being the sugar from the apricot. So it's like the flavor, but it dries out really fast. It's very bubbly, and so it almost has like a champagne-y kind of vibe to it, which makes it really refreshing. This would be great in the summertime, sitting out on a patio somewhere.
Yeah.
We're just drinking it in December right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I cracked open the box and saw this, I was like, "Oh man!" Like it's not really something I was really looking forward to. Not because it's Delta the Beer Lab, just simply apricot blonde ale. It's just nothing I really would reach for. I would definitely order this. It's a much better beer than I was expecting. But it's. I think we already talking about it's not overly sweet. It's very refreshing. It's filling, but still kind of light. If that makes any sense. It's really good. I would definitely get this again.
Jen packed it up in the brown bag for me, and then she handed it to me, and she said, "Oh shoot, are you guys doing this at 8:30?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "That means I have to stay awake long enough to try it." And I'm like, "Ooh, that means you want to try it if you're asking that question." She's like, "Yeah, I do." So I figured it was going to be something decent and in the vein of what she likes. So this is not super surprising to me, but it's good. Okay, day 7.
1-2 for the blonde ales so far on this calendar, because the blonde ale I had with the blood orange was also quite delicious.
Yeah. Day 7, the apricot blonde ale from Delta out of Madison. Ross, where are you going?
3.75. I think it's really good. It's drinkable. It's not 4 worthy for me, but it's 3.75. It's a really well made beer. So,
okay, Tyler.
I think I'm gonna go 3.5, and it was close to a 3.75. I think if I were to take this and maybe adjust what it is right now, I might bump up just maybe a couple points of sweetness, just because up front it might need a little bit to get that punch of flavor. But I do like the drying effect at the end because it makes it really drinkable, and it makes it in the summer, like I said, that'd be super good. So I would just make that slight change, but otherwise it's super clean. There's no like weird funk or anything in it. And so for that, I'll give it a strong 3.5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to trump both of you and go with a 4 on this. I really am enjoying this more than I expected to. I'm not a huge blonde ale fan. But if there's a blonde ale that I would want to drink, it would be in this style, and something close to this. This is really well done. Very drinkable. I think to Tyler's point, it's not really a this time of year necessarily kind of beer to be consuming, but I don't know that really matters with this because this is a nice just, happy drinker Wednesday night, snag something out of the fridge type of beer. So 4 for me from Delta. So again,
all right,
all really good beers so far in this calendar. All right, VolumeOne man from Eau Claire. Why don't you show us what you got going?
Got a nice little 7 sticker there. Let's see what we got in here tonight. Oh, okay. Yep. South Shore Nut Brown.
Oh, sure. Also, where is
Ashland,
that?
Wisconsin.
From where?
Ashland, Wisconsin.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Let me just verify that I'm not thinking the wrong brewery. Because if it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Oh.
I've been there. I've had this beer multiple times. This is good beer.
All right.
all right.
So,
Well,
it's
thanks for watching, everybody. It's been fun.
I was gonna say that's
Have
all.
a good
folks.
night. That's all, folks. Yeah, I mean, all right. The can says this beer is a social, drinkable beer that's easy to share with everyone. The aromatic malt gives our nut brown ale its signature nut flavor. Caramel malts provide sweetness, color, and depth of flavor. I mean, it's a well-made brown ale, and we'll give it a try, and I'll give you my thoughts. So there we got our, nice brown ale, pretty carbonated, and that head didn't stick around long with how I poured it, but it's got a pretty brown color, even though my background's probably messing with it a little bit. It's a little bit more translucent over on
I was
my
going
end
to
than the
say, there's
camera
quite
can
a bit
see.
of light coming through.
The
Yeah,
bottom of your glass, it looks real clear. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You can kind of see my finger through it. So, but it's definitely got that, that brown color. I mean, there's not much going on the nose, really. I mean, you can pick up a little nuttiness maybe, but otherwise it's pretty mellow on the nose. So, no, I'll give it a taste and I'll let y'all know what I think. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, that's really good. I guess I don't know how to describe what a brown ale tastes like, right? I mean, it tastes like a pretty standard brown ale with a little extra kind of nuttiness mixed in from what did they say they put in there? The whatever the malt that they put in there that gives it kind of that aromatic feel. I mean, it just adds a little bit of an extra layer of something different on top of it to make it a little bit unique, to make it its own beer.
Tyler would
Are you
say,
getting any like bitterness,
Tyler
or
would
is
say-
it pretty like smooth? Or
Oh, it's
Sorry.
pretty smooth, and it's pretty like there's not much bitterness to this at all.
okay.
So it's pretty smooth. I mean, sort of sweet from the malt, right? But then you kind of get that sort of warm nut flavor coming through on it. What would Tyler say?
Tyler would just say dark roasty malts and nuts. That's it.
Dark, roasty malts and nuts. Yeah, that's exactly what this is giving you. And
I would say that.
Yeah, Tyler would say that. That's what I would hear from Tyler.
Thanks for telling me what I would say.
I mean, it does exactly what it does exactly what it's supposed to be. I mean, this is just a really good beer. This is a staple of the brewery up there in Ashland, where I've been several times before. It's a fun little place to hang out, and they've got other beers that are also quite delicious. But I think this is kind of if they had a flagship, I think this would be it.
Brown ales are an underrated style.
Yeah.
First of all, you
I
can't find
love
them a lot,
brown
but they're
ales.
so good. They're so
Mhm.
good done right.
Funny thing is, brown ales and blonde ales, as far as what we talked about, they're relatively they're good beers to really kind of just throw some adjuncts and different things with them, because
Mhm.
they offer a distinct note, but there's not a lot coming out of either one of them. So
Exactly.
they're actually, for different reasons, very similar beers, though.
I can see that. And yeah, and this one, it's not like they put a huge adjunct in it or something. It's not like it's crazy. They just added a little bit of that roasted nut sort of layer to it, right?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
if
You're
I got
scoring it.
put it in on Untappd, I mean, I think I gave that blonde blood orange ale a 4. I'll go right there. I'll throw it at a 4. I think it does what it does in the style it does. It's well done. It's delicious, and it's nothing crazy, right? I can't imagine it's much more than 5-6%, right? But like if you wanted to have, just like we were saying with the blonde ale, if you wanted to have a beer on a Thursday night and just hang out and drink a little bit, this is the one. This is something I'd reach for.
Cool. South Shore Brewing Company.
Right on Lake Superior.
And it's called the Nutty Brown?
The Nut Brown Ale.
Just the Nut Brown Ale? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's way up there. I didn't realize Ashland was that far north. Holy cow.
The beer that always comes to mind for me with that style of a brown is always Ale Asylum's Madtown Nut Brown that they always put out back in the day.
Yeah.
That's
that
the one.
one was
My go-to is Fat Squirrel. That's always such a
Fat
good
Squirrel.
name.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Newcastle always pops into my head.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't had one of those
As
in
a
really
brown.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Rocky's Revenge is a brown ale too, actually, if I remember right.
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
All
good
right.
stuff. 2 more good beers. We are 7 days into this thing. That means we have 18 days left.
Getting there.
17 days left. 17 days. Counting is hard. We've got 17 days left. 17 more beers to pull out of these 2 advent calendars. We're having fun. Have you tried either of these? Let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know what you think Tyler would have said that's different from what I made him say tonight.
Please let me know.
Please,
I'm so curious.
Please let him know what he would say. He likes that. Check us out on the rest of our social media channels. Check out the rest of the Advent Calendar series here on the channel, and we will see all of you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.
Adios.
Bye.